Failure is something we all encounter, yet it's often viewed as a final, definitive end. We've all been conditioned to think that failure is something to fear and avoid at all costs, that it signifies the end of our ambitions and goals. But what if we saw failure in a different light? What if, instead of being an end, failure could be a beginning? What if failure could be the turning point, the very moment when growth and transformation take place? At some point, everyone faces failure. Whether it's a project that didn't go as planned, a relationship that didn't work out, or a dream that seemed too far to reach, failure is a part of the human experience. But what truly matters is how we respond to it. Failure, in its truest sense, does not define us, it refines us. It is in the moments of failure that we learn the most about ourselves and our capabilities. It's where we discover our true strength, resilience, and determination. Failure is often misjudged. Many view it as a sign that something is wrong, that we've made a mistake, or that we're simply not good enough. But failure is actually a vital part of the process. It helps us see things more clearly. It teaches us lessons that success alone cannot offer. When we succeed right away, we often take it for granted. We don't analyze what we did well or how we got there. But failure forces us to examine the situation, reassess our approach, and learn from our mistakes. It's important to remember that failure doesn't signal the end of the road. It's simply a detour. It might delay our journey, but it doesn't cancel it. Many of the most successful people throughout history have experienced failure, some of them, multiple times before finding their way. What sets them apart is not that they never failed, but that they used failure as a stepping stone. They didn't let it defeat them. Instead, they used it as motivation to keep moving forward, to keep learning, and to keep refining their approach. When we fail, we are often faced with an important choice. Do we let failure define us, or do we allow it to teach us? It's easy to be discouraged when things don't go as planned, but it's during these moments that we have the opportunity to build resilience and character. Failure forces us to adapt. It forces us to change course and find new solutions. If we never faced failure, we might never learn how to push through adversity or develop the mental toughness required to achieve long-term success. Moreover, failure often brings clarity. When we succeed without struggle, it can be easy to overlook the aspects that need improvement or to assume we've mastered everything. But failure is a wake-up call. It provides us with the feedback we need to understand what works and what doesn't. It gives us the chance to reflect on our goals and strategies and to realign ourselves. Without failure, we might never fully realize what we are capable of or understand the true value of perseverance. In fact, many of the greatest innovations and achievements in history came about because someone was willing to fail, learn, and try again. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Instead of giving up after each failure, he viewed each setback as a learning experience, a step closer to success. His perspective on failure changed the world. The fear of failure often holds us back from pursuing our dreams. It can cause us to hesitate, to second-guess ourselves, and to stay within our comfort zones. But if we change the way we view failure, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. If we see failure not as a defeat, but as a necessary part of the journey, we are more likely to take risks, to try new things, and to embrace challenges without hesitation. When we fail, we are not starting over, we are starting from experience. Every failure carries with it valuable lessons. It's in those lessons that we gain the knowledge and skills we need to move forward more effectively. Each failure is a chapter in our story, a chapter that shapes who we are and how we approach the future. Success is not about never failing, it's about learning how to rise each time we fall. So, if you find yourself facing failure, don't be discouraged. Don't see it as an end, but as an opportunity to grow, learn, and improve. Embrace it and use it to propel yourself forward. Understand that failure is not a punishment, it's a tool for growth. It might be painful in the moment, but with each failure, you are becoming more resilient, more capable, and more prepared for the success that lies ahead. Remember, failure is a part of the process. It is not final. It is a stepping stone, a necessary element of the journey toward success. If you can learn from failure, grow from it, and keep moving forward, you will find that it is not the obstacle you once thought it was. Instead, it will become one of your greatest assets in the pursuit of your goals. Success is built on the lessons we learn through failure And it is in these moments of adversity that we discover who we truly are and what we are capable of achieving. Keep going, keep learning, and know that with each step, you are closer to your dream. Failure is often seen as a setback, a disappointment, or even a reflection of personal inadequacy. However, when we take a step back and reframe our view of failure, we begin to realize that it can actually be one of our greatest tools for growth. Far from being a moment of defeat, failure is an opportunity for self-discovery, learning, and transformation. It is in those moments of failure that we truly come to understand who we are and what we're capable of. Rather than breaking us, failure has the power to refine us, shaping our character and strengthening our resolve. When we fail, we are faced with a choice. We can let failure overwhelm us, or we can use it as a catalyst for change. It's easy to become discouraged when things don't go as planned, to feel disheartened by the setbacks we experience. But it is precisely in these challenging moments that we have the chance to grow stronger. Failure provides us with invaluable insights that we would never gain if everything went smoothly. It teaches us patience, resilience, and perseverance, qualities that are essential to achieving long-term success. Think about it, the process of failure is not a smooth, predictable path. It's full of twists, turns, and unexpected challenges. When we face failure, we are often forced to reassess our methods, reevaluate our goals, and adjust our approach. This self-reflection is where the refinement begins. Through failure, we gain clarity and perspective, discovering what works and what doesn't. It's in those moments of difficulty that we learn the most about ourselves, about our weaknesses and our strengths, and about the changes we need to make to move forward. Rather than viewing failure as a negative, we should see it as a feedback loop, a process through which we can better understand our actions and decisions. Failure gives us a mirror to reflect on what went wrong, but it also shows us how we can improve. It's an essential step in the learning process, offering us the opportunity to refine our skills, rethink our strategies, and ultimately become better versions of ourselves. Without failure, we would never have the chance to truly grow. It is the challenge that forces us to dig deep, to push past our comfort zones, and to develop a more refined, thoughtful approach to life. As we navigate through life's difficulties, we start to realize that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Every setback is an opportunity to grow. Every mistake is a lesson in disguise. This shift in perspective allows us to approach failure with a sense of curiosity rather than dread. Instead of running from our mistakes, we learn to confront them head-on, knowing that they hold the key to our future success. Failure teaches us humility, helping us understand that we are not infallible, and that growth comes through effort, persistence, and continuous learning. Consider the most successful people in the world. They didn't reach their achievements by avoiding failure. On the contrary, many of them faced numerous failures before they found success. What set them apart wasn't their ability to avoid failure, but their willingness to keep going despite it. They understood that failure wasn't a reflection of their worth, but a necessary part of the process. It was a refinement of their skills, a deepening of their knowledge, and an opportunity to learn from their experiences. They used each failure as a stepping stone, building upon it until they eventually reached their goals. Failure also builds resilience. It is easy to succeed when everything is going well, but true strength is forged in the face of adversity. Each time we fail and get back up, we become stronger. We develop the mental toughness needed to face the next challenge with confidence and determination. Failure teaches us how to handle setbacks with grace, how to persist in the face of difficulty, and how to maintain a positive attitude despite the obstacles in our path. It refines our character, making us more patient, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. In addition, failure is a humbling experience. It reminds us that we are all imperfect, that we are all on a journey of continuous improvement. When we fail, we are forced to acknowledge that we don't have all the answers, that we can't control everything, and that sometimes we need help. This humility is not a weakness but a strength. It allows us to approach future challenges with an open mind, willing to learn and grow from the experience. Failure teaches us that success is not just about achieving our goals, but about who we become in the process, the resilience, the humility, and the wisdom we gain along the way. Ultimately, failure is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It refines us by teaching us the lessons we need to learn in order to grow, improve, and ultimately succeed. It is the crucible in which our character is forged, the foundation upon which our future success is built. Without failure, we would not have the opportunity to develop the strength, resilience, and wisdom necessary to overcome life's challenges. So, the next time you face failure, don't see it as a setback, but as a powerful opportunity to refine yourself and your abilities. Embrace it, learn from it, and allow it to shape you into the person you are meant to become. Failure, in the end, is not the end, it is the beginning of a new, better version of you. Success is often portrayed as a destination, something to be achieved after a long and arduous journey. Many people believe that success comes to those who are lucky, talented, or simply in the right place at the right time. But one of the most important factors in achieving success is not just about having the right skills or resources, it is about how we approach failure. The truth is that success comes through embracing failure, learning from it, and using it as a stepping stone to greater achievements. Failure is something we all experience. It is an inevitable part of life, and no one is exempt from it. Whether it's a business venture that doesn't take off, a personal goal that falls short, or a relationship that doesn't work out, failure is something we all encounter. Yet, rather than letting failure hold us back or define us, we must learn to see it as a necessary part of the process. Embracing failure doesn't mean that we enjoy it or seek it out, but it means we are willing to confront it and learn from it rather than avoiding it out of fear. The most successful people in the world did not achieve greatness by avoiding failure, they achieved success because they embraced failure and used it to fuel their journey. Every time they failed, they learned something new. They didn't let failure discourage them, but instead they used it as a lesson to refine their approach, improve their skills, and move forward with a stronger sense of purpose. When we fail, we are often faced with a choice. We can either let it defeat us, or we can learn from it and try again. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is the way they respond to failure. Failure is not the end of the road, but rather a detour that can guide us toward a better path. In fact, some of the greatest discoveries and innovations in history came about as a result of failure. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb, and J.K. Rowling's first Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by numerous publishers before it became one of the best-selling book series of all time. These individuals didn't see failure as a sign to stop, they saw it as a sign to keep going, to adjust their approach, and to try again. Their success was built upon the lessons they learned from each failure. One of the most valuable aspects of failure is that it provides feedback. When we succeed, we often don't take the time to analyze why we succeeded, we simply enjoy the outcome and move on. But failure forces us to stop and reflect. It gives us the chance to evaluate what went wrong, identify areas for improvement, and adjust our strategy. Failure is the ultimate teacher. It helps us identify weaknesses in our approach and strengthens our resolve to keep going. Without failure, we would never have the opportunity to truly grow and improve. Furthermore, failure teaches resilience. It is easy to keep going when things are going well, but true strength is forged in adversity. Every time we face failure and choose to rise above it, we become more resilient. We learn how to cope with setbacks, how to adapt to changing circumstances, and how to maintain our focus even when things don't go according to plan. Success is not about never facing obstacles, it's about learning how to navigate those obstacles and keep moving forward. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from failure, and it is one of the most important qualities that anyone striving for success must develop. Another important lesson that failure teaches us is humility. Success can sometimes lead to arrogance or complacency, but failure brings us back to reality. It reminds us that we are not invincible, and that the road to success is not always smooth. Failure humbles us, and in doing so, it teaches us to approach our goals with greater focus, discipline, and determination. It shows us that success is not guaranteed, and that it requires effort, persistence, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. Humility is an essential component of success because it allows us to remain open to new ideas, to learn from others, and to adapt to changing circumstances. Success is also about taking risks. The fear of failure often holds people back from taking the necessary risks to achieve their dreams. But without taking risks, we limit our potential. Failure is often the result of stepping outside of our comfort zone, of pushing ourselves to try something new or challenge the status quo. When we embrace failure, we are more likely to take those risks, knowing that even if we fail, we will gain valuable experience that will move us closer to success. In the end, success is not about avoiding failure, it's about learning how to use failure to our advantage. Each failure is an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. Success comes not from the absence of failure, but from the ability to rise after each fall, to learn from each mistake, and to keep moving forward with greater determination. The road to success is rarely a straight path, and it is often marked by detours, setbacks, and obstacles. But it is through these challenges that we discover what we are truly capable of. Success is not about never failing, it is about embracing failure, learning from it, and using it as the fuel that drives us toward our goals. Failure is often viewed negatively, something to be avoided at all costs. It carries a stigma, often perceived as a sign of weakness, incompetence, or inadequacy. However, what if we shifted our perspective and began to see failure not as a setback but as an essential part of our growth? What if we realized that failure is not just inevitable but necessary for progress? In fact, failure is one of the most valuable opportunities for growth that we have. It challenges us, pushes us out of our comfort zones, and forces us to confront our limitations. Through failure, we learn, adapt, and ultimately become stronger, more capable individuals. When we fail, it often feels like a personal defeat. We may feel embarrassed, frustrated, or disheartened by our inability to achieve our goals. However, the reality is that failure is not a reflection of our worth or ability, but rather a natural part of the learning process. Failure presents us with feedback that we would never receive in the absence of struggle. It exposes the areas where we need to improve, the weaknesses we need to address, and the strategies that we must refine. These lessons are essential for growth because they provide clarity and direction. Without failure, we would remain stagnant, never questioning our approach or identifying areas for improvement. Failure forces us to stop, reflect, and reassess. Think about any skill or accomplishment that you have achieved in life, whether it's learning an instrument, mastering a sport, or succeeding in your career. Chances are, you didn't achieve success on your first try. Instead, you likely encountered failure along the way. Each failure taught you something valuable. Perhaps you missed a note when playing a song, or you lost a game, or your first job interview didn't go as planned. But in each case, you didn't stop. You learned from your mistakes, adjusted your approach, and tried again. With each failure, you became better, more skilled, and more knowledgeable. Success was not about avoiding failure, but about embracing the lessons that failure provided. It was through the process of failing and learning that you grew. Failure also has the power to teach resilience. When we experience failure, we are often faced with disappointment and frustration. It's easy to feel like giving up, especially when things don't go as expected. However, failure is a test of our resilience, the ability to keep going despite setbacks. Resilience is built through adversity, and every failure we experience strengthens this vital trait. The more we face challenges, the more we develop the mental toughness required to persevere. Failure helps us build the courage to rise again, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. It teaches us that setbacks are not the end, but an opportunity to begin again with greater insight and determination. Additionally, failure helps us develop a deeper understanding of ourselves. When we face failure, we are forced to confront our vulnerabilities and shortcomings. This self-awareness is crucial for growth because it helps us identify what we truly need to work on. Failure strips away the illusions of perfection, revealing the areas where we can improve. It forces us to be honest with ourselves about our limitations and challenges us to push past them. This self-discovery is essential for personal growth because it opens the door to new opportunities for learning and development. The more we fail and reflect on our failures, the more we come to understand our true potential and capabilities. Another powerful aspect of failure is that it fosters creativity. When things don't go according to plan, we are often forced to think outside the box and explore alternative solutions. Failure pushes us to be more resourceful, to look for new ways to approach a problem, and to be open to trying different strategies. This creative thinking is a direct result of experiencing failure because it removes the illusion of a straightforward path. In the face of failure, we learn to be adaptable, flexible, and inventive, which are all important qualities for success. Failure, in this sense, is not just an obstacle, it is a catalyst for innovation and growth. Furthermore, failure builds humility. When we succeed easily, we may develop a sense of entitlement or overconfidence. However, failure brings us back down to earth, reminding us that success is never guaranteed and that we are all prone to mistakes. It teaches us humility by showing us that we don't always have control over outcomes, no matter how hard we try. This humility is essential for growth because it helps us stay grounded and focused on continuous improvement. Failure reminds us that we are always learning, always evolving, and that success is not a one-time achievement but a lifelong journey. It is also important to recognize that failure is not permanent. It is a temporary state, and it doesn't define us. In fact, many of the most successful people in the world experienced multiple failures before they achieved their goals. They didn't give up when faced with setbacks. They used those failures to fuel their determination. They understood that failure was just a part of the process, not the end of the journey. When we begin to see failure in this light, we stop fearing it and start using it to our advantage. Failure, when approached with the right mindset, is an opportunity to grow. It teaches us valuable lessons, builds our resilience, encourages creativity, and helps us develop a deeper understanding of ourselves. Rather than avoiding failure or letting it discourage us, we should embrace it as a natural and necessary part of our journey toward success. Every failure brings us one step closer to achieving our goals, because it is through failure that we learn the most important lessons in life. Success is not about avoiding failure, but about learning from it, growing from it, and becoming better because of it. So the next time you encounter failure, remember that it is not a dead end, but a powerful opportunity to grow, adapt, and move closer to your dreams. A shift in mindset is one of the most powerful tools we can utilize to transform our lives. Often the way we think shapes the way we act, the choices we make, and the results we achieve. Our mindset influences how we approach challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. It can either limit our potential or open doors to greater achievements. By shifting our mindset, we can change the way we experience life, view failure, and pursue our goals. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but by consciously choosing to change the way we think, we can unlock our full potential and create lasting success. One of the most significant areas in which a mindset shift is necessary is how we view failure. Many people fear failure, seeing it as something negative, something to be avoided at all costs. However, this fear of failure can hold us back from taking risks, trying new things, and ultimately growing. Instead of seeing failure as a natural part of life, people often see it as an endpoint, a sign that they are not good enough, or that they have failed completely. But when we shift our mindset, we begin to understand that failure is not something to fear, it is an opportunity for growth. Failure is not the end, it is simply a part of the learning process, and it often teaches us the most valuable lessons. When we embrace failure as a learning experience, we stop letting it control our actions. Instead of avoiding challenges or playing it safe, we are willing to step out of our comfort zones, take risks, and explore new possibilities. A mindset shift allows us to take on challenges with confidence, knowing that even if we fail, we can learn from our mistakes and try again with new insights and strategies. This shift is essential for growth because it changes our relationship with failure from something paralyzing into something empowering. We begin to understand that failure is not a reflection of our abilities or worth, but simply an inevitable part of progress. Another crucial aspect of shifting our mindset is how we perceive obstacles and setbacks. When we face difficulties, it is easy to get discouraged, feel overwhelmed, or believe that the challenge is too great to overcome. However, when we shift our mindset, we begin to see these obstacles as opportunities to grow stronger and more resilient. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable walls, we start to view them as stepping stones that can help us develop new skills, build character, and learn perseverance. A mindset shift allows us to approach adversity with a positive attitude, knowing that every obstacle we face is an opportunity to learn and grow. This shift also impacts how we see ourselves and our potential. Many people struggle with self-doubt, feeling that they are not capable or that success is reserved for others. They may believe that their circumstances or past experiences define their future potential. However, a shift in mindset enables us to embrace the belief that our abilities are not fixed. We are capable of growth and change. Our potential is not limited by our past, it is determined by our willingness to learn, adapt, and keep moving forward. When we embrace this mindset, we stop seeing ourselves as victims of our circumstances and start recognizing ourselves as active participants in our own success. We realize that we have the power to shape our future through the choices we make and the actions we take. One of the most profound ways that shifting our mindset can change our lives is by helping us embrace a growth-oriented perspective. A fixed mindset focuses on talent and intelligence as static qualities that cannot be changed. With this mindset, we may feel that if we are not good at something right away, we should give up or avoid trying altogether. In contrast, a growth mindset is based on the belief that abilities can be developed through hard work, dedication, and perseverance. This perspective allows us to approach challenges with the understanding that failure is not permanent, and success is achieved through continuous learning and effort. With a growth mindset, we are more likely to take on challenges, persist through difficulties, and keep pushing forward even when things seem tough. We recognize that setbacks are not a reflection of our limitations, but an opportunity to learn and improve. A growth mindset helps us see our potential in a new light, encouraging us to keep working towards our goals even when faced with challenges. Instead of feeling discouraged by obstacles, we see them as opportunities for improvement and growth. Furthermore, shifting our mindset allows us to build greater resilience and adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and we cannot control everything that happens to us. However, we can control how we respond. By adopting a mindset that views challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth, we become more adaptable in the face of change. When things don't go as planned, we can adjust, adapt, and find new solutions. A resilient mindset helps us bounce back from difficulties, knowing that every setback is temporary and that we can overcome any obstacle with the right mindset and effort. Changing our mindset also impacts how we interact with others. People with a fixed mindset may be more likely to compare themselves to others, feel threatened by other people's successes, or avoid collaboration for fear of being judged. However, when we shift to a growth mindset, we embrace collaboration, seek feedback, and celebrate the success of others as a source of inspiration. We understand that everyone has the potential to grow, and we are more likely to support others in their journey as well. This shift in perspective can improve relationships, enhance teamwork, and create a more positive and supportive environment. Shifting your mindset is not always easy. It takes time, effort, and a conscious commitment to change. However, the rewards of doing so are immense. By changing the way we think about failure, challenges, and our own potential, we open ourselves up to new opportunities for growth and success. We stop seeing setbacks as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. We embrace the process of learning, knowing that every failure, every challenge, and every obstacle is a chance to grow, improve, and become better. A mindset shift is the key to unlocking our true potential and creating a life full of growth, resilience, and success. Failure is often viewed as a negative experience, something to be avoided at all costs. In a world that celebrates success and achievement, failure can seem like an undesirable consequence, something that we should steer clear of. However, if we take a closer look at the journey to success, we'll find that failure is not only inevitable, but also an essential part of that journey. It is a stepping stone, a necessary process that allows us to grow, learn, and ultimately succeed. Without failure, our progress would be limited, and our understanding of our capabilities would be shallow. Failure is not the end of the road, it's a crucial part of the process that makes success meaningful and achievable. At the heart of the journey is the understanding that failure is a natural and unavoidable part of life. It is impossible to achieve anything of significant value without encountering setbacks. Whether you are starting a new venture, learning a new skill, or pursuing a dream, failure will inevitably be part of the process. The key is not to view failure as something to fear or avoid, but to recognize it as an opportunity for growth. When we fail, we are forced to confront the limitations of our current knowledge, skills, or approach. It's in these moments that we learn the most about ourselves. Failure provides feedback that we would never get if everything went according to plan. It highlights areas for improvement and offers valuable lessons that help us refine our approach moving forward. One of the most important aspects of failure is that it teaches us resilience. Success is often the result of repeated attempts, each one marked by setbacks, mistakes, and failures. Every time we fail, we are given the chance to rise again, stronger and more determined. This process of bouncing back from failure is what builds resilience. Resilience is not something that is handed to us, it is earned through experience. When we face failure head on, we learn how to cope with disappointment, how to adjust our mindset, and how to keep pushing forward, even when things don't go as planned. Resilience is the ability to keep going, even when success seems distant and failure seems overwhelming. Each failure we face gives us the opportunity to develop this inner strength, which is essential for overcoming obstacles and achieving long-term success. In addition to building resilience, failure also helps us develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. When we embrace failure as part of the journey, we shift our focus from the outcome to the process. Rather than seeing failure as a sign that we are not good enough, we see it as a sign that we are learning, evolving, and improving. With each failure, we gain new insights, refine our strategies, and increase our understanding of the task at hand. A growth mindset encourages us to keep going despite setbacks, knowing that with each failure, we are one step closer to success. Failure is also a reminder that success is not linear. Many people fall into the trap of believing that success follows a straightforward path, where each step is a direct progression towards the end goal. However, in reality, success is often messy, filled with ups and downs, twists and turns. There will be moments of doubt, times when progress seems slow, and times when setbacks seem overwhelming. These challenges are not signs that we are on the wrong path, they are simply part of the journey. Success is rarely achieved without failure. In fact, it is often the failures that shape the ultimate outcome, as they provide the lessons and experiences that lead to growth and improvement. By embracing failure as part of the process, we come to accept that the road to success will not always be smooth, and that the obstacles we encounter along the way are not roadblocks but stepping stones. Furthermore, failure fosters humility and self-awareness. When we fail, we are reminded of our limitations, and this can be an invaluable lesson in humility. Failure forces us to acknowledge that we don't have all the answers, and that we are constantly learning and evolving. This awareness allows us to approach challenges with a more open mind, willing to accept feedback, adjust our approach, and grow from our experiences. Humility is essential for personal growth because it allows us to stay grounded, to keep learning, and to remain open to new ideas and perspectives. Failure is a humbling experience that can help us cultivate this important quality. Moreover, failure teaches us patience. Success is not immediate, and it often requires sustained effort over time. Failure teaches us that things don't always happen on our timeline, and that progress can be slow and uneven. It requires patience to keep going when results are not immediately visible, and failure helps us develop this patience. We learn that success takes time, and that every setback is part of the process. By accepting failure as part of the journey, we begin to develop a more patient and persistent mindset, understanding that our efforts will eventually lead to success, even if that success is not immediate. Ultimately, failure is an integral part of the journey toward success. It is a necessary process that helps us grow, learn, and refine our approach. Failure builds resilience, teaches us humility, develops patience, and fosters a growth mindset. It reminds us that success is not linear, and that the path to achievement is often filled with setbacks and challenges. By embracing failure as part of the journey, we can shift our perspective and see each failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. Success is not about avoiding failure, it's about using failure to our advantage, learning from it, and continuing to move forward. Each failure brings us closer to success, and it is through failure that we truly discover our strengths, develop our character, and achieve our goals. So rather than fearing failure or trying to avoid it, we should embrace it as a vital part of the journey, because it is in the face of failure that we often find our greatest opportunities for growth and achievement.